In Unit 2, Lesson 4, you will learn how to split and freeze panes. Let's take a look first at how to freeze panes in Microsoft Excel.
Short Microsoft Excel tutorial, I want to show you a tool called Freeze Panes, and I want to illustrate for you how it's useful. And to do so, I have a simple spreadsheet here. It's basically just a list of synth pop bands and their recent albums, and there's some other information here as well. But notice as I browse down the page, it's easy for me to lose track of what each of these columns represents, because my column titles, band, album, genre, price, sales, that all gets lost as I browse down the page. Now this is just a list of 30 records or so. But imagine, what if I had a spreadsheet with thousands of records, thousands of rows, or even just hundreds of rows? It would be very easy to get confused about, what does this number 1 represent? What does 20 represent? What does it mean? And that's where the Freeze Panes tool comes in very handy. Basically, what it allows me to do is it makes it so that I can freeze row number 1, for example, so that it stays there at the top of the screen and doesn't disappear and go away. So as I browse down the page, I would always be able to see row number 1. Let's look at how to activate freeze panes. There are basically 2 different ways you can do it. The classic old-fashioned way to do it would be to click on the row underneath the row that you want to freeze. So I clicked on row number 2, it highlighted the entire row, and now I can go up to the View tab, and notice there's Freeze Panes. I just click on that and choose Freeze Panes. It doesn't look like anything happened, but now watch, as I browse down the page, row number 1 stays at the top. So I always know what the numbers mean and what the text means. So that's the classic way to activate Freeze Panes, and it doesn't have to always be this top row. Okay, I'm going to unfreeze panes, and I could choose, if I wanted to freeze rows 1 through 17. In order to do that, I just click on row 18, go up to freeze panes, freeze panes. Now the first 17 rows are all frozen. Okay, so like I said, that's the classic old-fashioned way of doing freeze panes. The newer method is simply to not worry about what column you're in, about what row you're in, or what cell is selected, but simply to go up here to Freeze Panes and choose Freeze Top Row. So this way you don't even have to worry about which row should I select or anything like that. You simply go up to Freeze Panes and choose Freeze Top Row. And it has the exact same effect as if you had done it the old-fashioned way. Notice that there is also an option to freeze the first column. If you choose that, then the column at the far left stays visible no matter how far to the right you go. So I hope you find Freeze Panes to be helpful, and I hope that you found this video to be helpful. If you have, please click the like button below and consider connecting with me on my social media websites like Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. And definitely do subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos about technology for teachers and students, and watch for another video from me at least every Monday. And if you're interested, check out these bands by looking in the description below. You'll find links to more information about them.
Make your browser fast.
Now we will take a look at how to split your panes when using Microsoft Excel. Let's take a look.
I want to show you how to use a tool called Split. And Split is a view option in Excel. And in some ways, it's similar to Freeze Panes. If you haven't already watched my Freeze Panes tutorial, you really should do that. But basically, it's a way to change the way your data shows up on the screen, and it makes it easier for you to use the spreadsheet. And in this tutorial, we're going to look at a similar tool, and that is Split. What Split enables you to do is to set up a split view of your screen. And this is really helpful to be able to see your data the way you want to see it. So let me just give you a quick example. Here I have a spreadsheet of some awesome synth pop and new wave bands. Many of these I'm sure you've heard of, some famous bands, but there also are several lesser known bands that the world ought to know a little bit better. If you'd like to learn about some of these, please check out the links in the description below. But basically, as I create this spreadsheet, I'm expecting to add a whole bunch more synth pop music, synth pop CDs and bands to this list. And I don't want all that synth pop to kind of obscure and overshadow these other great genres of music. And so one way to handle that is to split the screen so that I can scroll with the content here, but I can also scroll just within the synth pop. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to go here and click on row 13 in this case. And then I'll just go up to split. And by clicking split, look what it did. It put a horizontal line right above the row that I had selected. And so now, look, as I scroll down, it's scrolling just the bottom portion of the spreadsheet. And here above, I can scroll down and I can still see that same data. But imagine, instead of just 20 or 25 rows, what if I had 10,000 rows? And I had 1,000 synth pop CDs listed here. It would be nice to be able to have a split screen so that I could scroll below differently than I do above. Now, if you regret where you put that split, you can click on the line and drag it to reposition the split. Okay, so that's pretty helpful. And when you're ready to just get rid of the split, you can double click on it and it goes away. Now, I want you to know that you can also do a split the other way. You can put in a vertical line and split the screen horizontally. It's very similar. I could just go here, let's say to column D, click on D, it highlights the entire column, and then I can go up to the View tab, the View ribbon, click Split, and it puts in the vertical split line in the column just to the left of the column that I had selected. So now look what I can do. I can scroll horizontally on the right differently and separately from my scroll horizontally on the left. And so what this does is it makes it so that you can see just about any portion of your spreadsheet, no matter how far apart they are. You can see them in the same window. Imagine if I had more than just A to I in columns. What if I had all the way to Z or double Z? And what if I needed that double Z column to show up alongside A, B, C? Well, I could do that using this split technique, this option here to split the screen the way I showed, and then just use the scroll bars. And again, I can move that split if I would like to, and I can double click to get rid of it if I would like to. Now, if you really wanted to, you could click not on a column, not on a row, but on an actual cell, and then go up and do split. Look what that does. That splits both to the left and above that cell. To be honest, I don't do this very often. It just gets a little confusing, a little complicated. But notice that I am able to scroll up and down, left and right in each of these 4 quadrants to be able to see my content. And please keep in mind, split does not change your content. It just changes how you view it, how you access it.
What are we doing?
So I'm going to double click to remove those. I hope that you've enjoyed watching this video. If this video has been helpful to you, please click the like button below and